Jungkook, your ex-boyfriend is your new boss. 4 years ago, he broke up with you and left you heartbroken. Now he is back as a rich billionaire, whereas you are struggling financially. So you decided to work for him in order to pay your bills. A detailed video of Jungkook torturing you at his office is pinned in the comment section below. Please take a look. YN's point of view. I groaned and snoozed my alarm for the 5th time that morning. I changed my position and shoved my face into the pillow. What time is it anyway? My eyes slowly widened. It was Tuesday, not Saturday. I quickly sat up and did my morning routine. I checked my time again and groaned. A whole hour late? On reaching my floor, I didn't expect to see my boss, his PA and Heather, my co-worker, converged in the passway. All eyes turned to me. Miss YN, how lovely of you to finally join us, Jungkook announced sarcastically. There is never an excuse for being late. Lillian, Jungkook's PA, eyed me sternly as she spoke. Did you lose a loved one? No, Did you have an accident? I shook my head and she concluded. No excuses at all. Jungkook looked at me, gestured towards his office and walked in. Like a child, I followed. Heather was kind enough to offer a sign of sympathy. I closed the door behind me and waited. 1 strike? You have lost 1 strike and only 2 left now. What? You must have thought I was joking then. No, I gritted out. Good, you may leave. Leaving his office, Lillian stood opposite the door looking as stern as she did yesterday and earlier. The look must be her trademark. You can sit and we will begin. My last and certainly not the least important lesson for the day is, she paused for effect. Do not sleep with your boss ever. I nearly snorted. Heather giggled and my eyes lifted to see Lillian's unmistakable gaze on me. I was immediately offended. Why are you staring at me? Heather is very much a female as I am. I am engaged. She smiled and shyly raised her hand to show off the engagement ring. I haven't had it on since it was getting resized, she explained. Oh, congratulations on your engagement then. Yes, Heather, congratulations. But the point remains, never sleep with your boss, Lillian said, bringing us back to the topic and again holding me with her accusatory stare. And what if it is the other way around? I shot at her. Absolutely no need to worry about that. I wondered how terrified she would feel if she knew I had already slept with the boss, not once or twice, but a long time ago. Let's go, Jungkook said, and I followed him towards the entrance of the apartment complex till we reached the elevator. He pressed the P button, which I deduced meant penthouse. He really should have been poor, jobless and homeless. The elevator opened up directly into his apartment. He stopped at a door and opened it. This is my home office. Nothing was in place, absolutely nothing. There were files all over the floor, tables and chairs, and most of the shelves were empty. Did a tornado recently occur and I wasn't aware? I want everything arranged in a chronological order as well as color. I don't think this is one woman job. Can this even be finished today? If you start now. His smile deeply infuriated me, but shutting my eyes and sucking it up, I began the task. While I was working, I quickly turned around to see Jungkook staring at me. Are you okay? He asked slowly. Yes, I smiled tightly. Jungkook at one point joined in arranging the scattered files and papers, and we were able to finish everything just before 8 p.m. If that's all, I'll be going now. I picked my bag up. I'll drop you off. I shook my head in refusal. I wasn't asking you, I was telling you. He walked out of the room. I wasn't asking you, I was telling you. I mimicked him, but nonetheless I followed him. I can hear your judgment, I said as we neared my shabby apartment building. Most of the buildings in the vicinity were like this. It was a pretty shabby neighborhood. I didn't say anything. He glanced at me. It's loud enough. Okay, I'll admit the neighborhood doesn't look safe. Better me than you then. You're difficult, he sighed as he parked the car. Thank you for the ride. I smiled falsely and left the car. I saw flashing lights at the entrance of the nightclub, feeling both excited and terrified. Why in? I turned and saw Isabella and Joanne walking towards me. Hey, you both look great, I smiled. And so do you, Isabella winked. Let's drink and get wasted up then. Joanne passed me a short glass from the tray. I drowned the tequila and cringed from the taste. Hours later, Joanne and I paddled out of the club giggling like schoolgirls. Isabella and her boyfriend had joined us on the dance floor for a few minutes, then left to enjoy the rest of the night doing what couples did. I haven't been this drunk in forever. It feels great, Joanne yelled. Really great, I laughed. The sound of my phone's ringing tone pierced the air. In capital letters, the caller ID read boss. I looked at Joanne, who only ushered me to answer the call. Hello? I cleared my throat, hoping I didn't sound as drunk and tired I felt. I know it's very late, but it's urgent. Where are the meeting minutes for January and February filed? In the cabinet. Which one? The one in the office? Ryan, are you drunk? No? Then I'll be expecting you at the office as soon as you can. The line went dead. I have to go. Are you sober enough? Joanne asked. I hope so. Where are the files? I turned back to see Jungkook standing in his office, displeasure written all over his face. It's in the where, he sighed. It's one of the cabinets or drawers. Which one? His dark eyes glared at me. Let's just check everything. I moved forward. Check everything? He laughed. It was a lot of cabinets and drawers. How about some water? Taehyung offered me a bottle of water which I gratefully accepted. Thank you. I don't have time for this. Jungkook sighed again. Don't bother coming on Monday. You're fired. I coughed as the water entered the wrong pipe. Cook, Taehyung said. You can't fire me just like that. Yes, I can. You're reckless and inefficiency is more than enough reason to. This is my free time. It's in the middle of night, nearly 3 a.m. and I still have 2 strikes. As my PA, you should know better. You are needed at all hours of the day, and your recklessness ticks off 1 strike while your inefficiency ticks off the last. You can leave. You deserve to rot in hell, and I hope you never find your stupid files. Get out! His voice dropped menacingly. Gladly. I glared at him and flipped him off before leaving the office and slamming the door behind me. My chest tightened and my breathing faltered. It was when the taxi I entered started moving, I felt the warm tears falling down my cheeks. I groaned and rolled over till my belly was lying flat against the bed. I knew I should have called Jungkook and plead the second I woke up, but my pride wouldn't let me. Not yet anyway. I dialed the number and 3 rings later he answered. Hello? Hey, I said awkwardly. The other end of the line was silent and I took in a deep breath before uttering my next words. I'm sorry. Do you remember where the files are now? Yeah? Come to the office then. Okay, I said and the connection ended. Jungkook was waiting when I arrived. I remembered our exchange last night and grimaced. The room was quiet as we rummaged through the files for the particular file he needed. I don't think it's here. He sighed and ran a hand through his dark hair. I didn't wonder about the importance of the files, rather I wondered if the job was still mine. Arrange it all back, was all he said before leaving the room. Stupid boss, stupid files, stupid landlord, stupid me. I grumbled as I walked. It was past 8 and dark outside when I finally finished everything. I'll drop you off, okay? I didn't argue. The car came to a halt outside my apartment complex. A man in an oversized coat swayed at the entrance. Do you know that man? He's my landlord. I came down from the car and shut the door feeling slightly bitter. Hey girl, where's my money? Jiggy moved faster than I assumed he could. I started checking my purse, then remembered it was upstairs in the jar. It's upstairs. You don't have the rent again? I was still trying to get over his alcohol breath when his hand suddenly shoved me down. My eyes widened as my back painfully hit the floor. Who are you? I heard Jiggy yell and saw Jungkook's body loom over him. Why are you pushing her? This girl owes me money, Jiggy yelled again. And I told you it's upstairs, I shouted as I stood up. How much? Jungkook asked quietly and I stared up at him. $800. You liar, it's 600 and I have it. I increased it. Here, take it. Jungkook slammed money into Jiggy's hand. You should have your boyfriend paying rent all along instead of delaying me, lady. Jiggy chuckled as he staggered away. Are you okay? Jungkook turned to me, his eyes quickly moving over me. I nodded. The money is upstairs. I'll pay you back. I paused. I may not have everything right now. I'll remove it from your salary. Let's go up. The door to my apartment opened without me using the key and dread instantly filled me. I definitely locked it before leaving earlier. Did you leave it unlocked? No, I murmured. We entered and at seeing the state of my apartment, my heart dropped. Nothing was how I left it hours ago. Half of my furniture was upturned, broken and scattered around. My eyes went to the kitchen and I immediately ran to check the jar on top of the fridge which contains the money. It was empty. Oh no! I turned the empty jar around then upside down. In a haste, I ran to my bedroom but halted seeing the mess it was. I checked the drawers but everything was gone too. All the spare change I would saved up for a rainy day, all gone. No, I shook my head and fell to the floor, pushing knees up to my chest. Why, look at me. I gazed at Jungkook, who was now bent to my level on the ground. Do you know who could have done this? He asked calmly. Jiggy is the only one who has access to the apartment since he is a landlord. My lips trembled. I always lock my door, I swear I do. We will get it back, okay? He leaned closer and his thumbs wiped away tears I didn't realize already stained my cheeks. I don't have anything. He duped me and I lost everything. And now I have nothing again. I sobbed into my knees. Jungkook was saying something as his arm wrapped around me, but I couldn't hear him. Let's go, he suddenly stood up. Where? To my apartment. You can't stay here. Do you mind? If I did, I wouldn't have offered. I'll wait for you in the living room, he said, then walked out of the room. Staring at my room, I just wanted to sit and continue crying till tomorrow or next, but I also didn't want to stay here, not tonight. I started searching for clothes amongst the ones stored on the floor, and after picking up what I needed, placing them in an overnight bag. Ready? He asked and I nodded. The drive to his place was silent, but my mind wasn't. I thought about all the money that was now gone and my apartment which was still a mess. We are here. We walked towards the elevator which took us up and into his penthouse. You can stay here. I nodded once and he left. I fell on the bed with a sigh. I thought of Jungkook, who in an unlikely turn of events have actually helped me. I should thank him. I walked out of the living room and found Jungkook seated on the couch. Are you hungry? He asked. I shook my head. Thank you, Jungkook. I sat beside him on the couch. You're my PA. It's the least I could do. So, I'm not fired then? I smiled expectantly. I'm not a monster, Ryan. He rolled his eyes. I beg to differ. I still greatly dislike you. I wouldn't have it any other way, he smiled. Is it edible? I asked as Jungkook set a plate of eggs, bacon and toast in my front. I can still fire you. It was Sunday morning and I was seated on one of the island stools while he surprisingly made and served me breakfast. It looks delicious, sir. I faked a smile. What do you plan to do? Go back, arrange my apartment and try not to be late for work tomorrow morning. You want to go back there? He glared at me. Well, what do you suggest? I stay here forever? That place is dangerous, Ryan. I can handle Jiggy. Like you did yesterday? Yesterday was, I can anyway. What if it was someone else? The lock wasn't broken and only Jiggy would really have the motive to steal from me. I was a bit late on paying my rent last month and he really didn't like that. What happened? He asked after a few minutes of silence. To what? I nonchalantly asked as I forked my eggs. Last night you said someone dogged you. What happened? I bit my lips, remembering snippets of the past and the clarity of what the money that was stolen really meant to me. I felt the heat of Jungkook's stare, and turning to face him, he was indeed staring intently at me. I was talking about Jiggy, I shrugged. You... Please leave it, I interrupted and he stopped. When do you want to leave? I'll drop you off, he said standing up. After this, I pointed to my breakfast with my fork and he nodded then left. For more videos, please subscribe this channel. Have a great day dear ones. Bye.